I think Brandon and I were stoked on it, and you were less stoked on it. Because
Yeah.
to me, this is S tier.
Yeah, this was
Deadpool
like
Wolverine S tier.
it's pretty good.
You're wearing the shirt right now, sir.
Well, hey, if Thor: Love and Thunder wants to send me a shirt, so I mean it's not an F tier movie. Okay? Welcome back to the break room. Now that Deadpool Wolverine is out, we got to get a ranking of every Marvel Studios movie. This ranking, there it is, MCU tier list. Look at that title card.
Beautiful.
This will stand at least until February. You get another Marvel movie. So this got a pretty good shelf life.
It's a long.
Yeah, it's a long
If you're watching this in November, if you're watching this in early January,
Still good.
still
So
works.
much time for you guys to send us your angry tweets and emails.
Are you watching
and-
this December 31st, 2024? Hey, happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Hey, are we
still-
okay?
Don't drink and drive.
Hey,
You
if
can
it's
still get
December
angry.
31st, 2024, are we okay?
How'd that election go?
Are we okay?
Let us know, please.
Let us know in the chat. How'd that election go? Okay, I'm Zach Huddleston. Thrilled to be here today. Joining me, we've got Brandon Barrick.
Hey, I'm ready to shed a tier list for the MCU.
Okay. Also here, Gina Ippolito.
I'm only going to vote for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. every time.
Damn. Not eligible.
Not on the list.
Don't
Not
care.
eligible.
Don't care.
Okay, here's the deal with this tier list. All right, Marvel has released. These are just Marvel Studios films. Okay, so we're not going to do any of the Fox movies. Of course, Deadpool Wolverine was a Marvel Studios release. Fox did not release that, so that will be eligible. Everyone, the three of us here on the panel, not Evan, each of us gets one golden snap. And that's when we're in disagreement with the other two members of the panel. We can each have one golden snap that locks in our choice for what tier a particular film goes into.
Because we can move things as we go if we feel like we want to adjust the tier list. But if something has been golden snapped in, you cannot move it.
Damn.
Locked.
Yes.
Golden snapping in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Not eligible.
Literally can't add the poster in.
Eligible.
Yes.
Don't have the poster for the graphic.
And one thing we want to be sure to say here is we are just comparing these movies to each other. We are not comparing these movies to all of filmdom. We are not comparing these to other superhero movies, right? They don't
No
need to.
Dark Knight. No.
Yeah, you're not worrying about that. What was the best superhero movie that came out in 2008?
Yeah.
None of this. We're just thinking of these 34 movies as a canon and ranking them amongst each other. We are going to need to place each of the 34 movies, though. That's why this will be a 7-hour stream.
Hey, and shout out Drew Lorenz for making this on tiermaker.com. It saved me a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you. Okay.
Good job.
Let's go through the list.
Yeah.
Yeah? Can we pull that? Oh, look at that beautiful
Oh,
list.
people are angry already.
All those thumbs. Tiny
Tiny
little.
So
little
what
thumbs.
we can start in the order that the list has it. Captain America, the first Avengers.
Okay.
Okay, so we're not exactly going by release date. This is 2011, the fifth MCU release. Okay. The first Avenger. Brandon, you and I were talking about this a little bit before.
Yeah.
This movie has gone through an interesting life cycle of like, I think when it came out, people were like, okay. Then for a while, people were like, meh. And now maybe people have come around
Yeah, I
on
think
it.
People were mad on it at some point.
This movie is boosted by the subsequent Captain America movies. That
Damn.
put a lot of weight on it. His suit looks so goofy. His little loose pocket
Very
suit.
good.
It's supposed to look
Yes.
goofy.
It looks a little too goofy. I would put this at a B. I think this was
Me too.
good. Of the
Dang.
initial 5 movies, like this was fun, but like I think, and we'll get to it later, I think there was like a better character introduction movie than this one. I would put this at a B.
I think this is
Good
going to be a
call.
Gina versus the boys again.
What?
I would
think-
put this at an A.
You put this at an A?
I think that's generous, Gina. I think this is the number 21 ranked MCU release on Rotten Tomatoes, standing at an 80% Rotten Tomato score, which is not bad.
How much is Rotten Tomatoes
But
paying
it
you?
started so much good stuff. It started, I could do this all day.
Sure.
We're talking about this
again-
movie as a movie.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I have such a vivid memory attached to this film of watching it on DVD in my college dorm and just being like, whoa, that was a pretty good movie. And then I went to go get dinner with my friend and he goes, that movie sucked.
No,
and I was like,
your
whoa.
friend sucks. This
Maybe
deserves
it
an
did
A
kinda
for
suck.
Peggy Carter alone.
But I will say, when I did my MCU rewatch and I watched this film, I started like crying in
Hell
any
yes.
scene he had with Stanley Tucci. Basically, I was
Yes.
like, there's something so emotional about what all the future films do when they look back on this one and how
Right.
they reference.
Yeah,
it. Which is really tough, Brandon. When you were saying like, this movie is made better by like all 35 other movies.
It is boosted up.
I like it as a
It's the
standalone.
worst of the Captain America movies.
I like it as a standalone.
Agreed. And so it's harder to put it higher than B. Also, I wish Tommy Lee Jones wanted to be in this movie. Right?
They swap. You should swap Stanley Tucci and Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones dies immediately. Spoiler alert. And Stanley Tucci gets to live on. Because yeah, I think if Tommy Lee had a better time, he maybe had another movie in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They find a way to go back to his character. Because that character never shows up in Agent Carter or anything like that.
Listen, Harrison Ford doesn't want to be in any movie he's ever been
We're talking
in.
about Tommy Lee Jones.
And
How
we
dare
still,
you?
and we
Stay
still love
focused.
it. We
Stay
still love
focused.
those movies.
This is the kind of comment we got to save for the February re-rank tier list.
We have
okay?
34 movies. We're averaging 5 minutes a movie at this point.
I will say most of the chat is saying B to C range.
Ooh.
Most people seems like high B.
This could be high B.
Dang.
Two out of three say B.
Fine, I'm out.
Why don't you waste your,
overruled.
Yeah,
waste your
go
snap
ahead-
on this
go
one?
ahead and blow
And
your
we'll see.
snap.
We've got 30-something movies
Yeah,
to
that's
go.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
It can move.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Evan.
Iron Man.
The OG Iron Man.
This
Oh.
is S tier. Like
Got-
you can
gotta
watch
be.
this and it
Yeah.
holds up. It's tight. It's great. It's good.
I will say, like, tight is a great way to describe it. Like, there's not a lot of wasted scenes or sequences, right? It's all kind of contributing. There's, like, the long USO tour chunk of Captain America.
I'm
you
going
know-
to stop you right there because that was a Stephen Sondheim song, and I will not have you besmirch
Okay.
the USO tour portion of
Star
Captain
Spangled
America.
Man with a Plan.
Yes.
But, again, Iron Man, and just, like, talk
Iron
about
Man's
things
good.
that pay off in later movies so much.
Set the tone, set the style, set the look.
He's also so great in it.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
the perfect cast.
And when you go back, like, the nano suit's cute. We all love it. But, like, man, I miss that old Iron Man suit that took 55 robots to put on. Every time they moved, it was...
Yeah.
He's freezing in the upper atmosphere. It's a mess. He can't even pee in that suit.
How'd you solve the icing problem?
Yeah.
Great line.
Oh, yeah.
Tony! We're ironmongers,
Yeah, I gotta
Tony.
give any movie with the dude in it.
Technology.
Box of Scraps
He
came
should
from
have been
this.
Dr. Doom. That would have
Oh.
Maybe he still can.
Jeff Bridges still got it.
5 minutes.
Okay, lock it in.
Okay.
S
Tier?
Yeah, that's
All right,
an S tier
there we
movie.
go.
I mean,
S.
it's so rewatchable.
So
It is.
So
rewatchable.
good.
For being the oldest movie on this list. It's
Yeah.
insane how rewatchable it is. Okay, next up. This is the one kind of exception to a pure MCU film, but we're including it. It is The Incredible Hulk. This is a movie that hasn't gotten better with age, I don't think.
It's a little
Oh,
rough.
no.
I mean, I like a lot of. What I love about this movie is that they're just in the story. We don't get like the
it's
full
not an
Bruce
origin.
Banner origin
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
The Abomination stuff's a little sloppy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks good, kind of, but also kind of like he reminded me of Alien Resurrection.
Okay.
When they make the half xenomorph, half human hybrid that Sigourney Weaver has to like shoot out into space.
It's a little
And
Gumby-ish, and I think like what they did with the Ruffalo Hulk CGI was just so much better.
Yeah.
It's harder to go back and see this
Yeah.
one as good.
I think that this movie gets more crap than it deserves. I
Sure.
think it's better than people give it credit for. But I will say that every time I've done 3 full rewatches of all of these movies at this point. Every time I go back, it's like I'm watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
It is the most forgettable.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, oh right.
We might.
Green.
And like I remember more about like the Ang Lee Hulk, right? The weird
Yes,
dog.
the dog.
Yes,
Comic book
yes,
panel stuff.
yeah.
Nick
like,
Nolte.
Yeah.
This might be Hulk with a C.
Ooh,
Okay.
I think I agree that it's a C. There's a
Yeah,
couple
this-
on this list that I
This
forget
is also,
every
I
time.
will say, this is the 30th ranked MCU film according to Rotten Tomatoes with a 67% fresh score.
That audience or
That is critic.
Critic.
Okay,
Yeah.
next on the list would be Iron Man 2. This is Whiplash and his parrot.
I'm
This
gonna
is Justin
reiterate-
Hammer.
I want my bird.
I'm going to reiterate what I just said. Every time I watch this one, I'm like, oh, right, this exists.
This also has the Elon Musk cameo that's only aged
Right.
well.
Oh, God.
And isn't the Oracle founder in this one?
Yes,
too?
Larry Ellison, whose son just bought Paramount. Yes.
Now, this did introduce Justin Hammer.
I was just gonna say, I think the best thing about it is Justin Hammer,
And of
who
course-
we did not get enough of in the MCU, in my opinion.
And of course, the replacement of Rhodey, right?
I
Next
also just
time,
love-
baby. Nope.
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 I also just love that you're like watching it and you're like, oh, they cast a dude who was like a huge star and then his face got all messed up, and he was just like, don't give me notes, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and they were like, oh, okay.
I want my birds.
I
This
want my
also
bird.
introduced Gary Shanley as
That's
Senator
right.
Sturz.
Ooh.
No,
Like, there's a
fuck
lot
you,
of fun
mister.
parts
Yeah.
in it.
It-
It's
yeah.
a sloppy.
It is.
It's a little rough.
Yeah, I would also give this a C.
Oh,
Okay,
interesting.
sad.
Yeah, chat's mostly saying C.
I had
this-
this at D.
Is the end of this the end?
It's
Ooh,
the
D
worst Iron
tier.
Man movie.
Wow.
I think you're right there. There's also is this the first appearance of Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury?
No, he
No.
shows up at the end of Iron
Oh,
Man.
Iron Man
Yeah,
1. Okay.
yeah.
Never mind. Okay. Whatever.
Well, hey, Scarlett Johansson. This is first appearance. of
Yes,
Scarlett
first
That's
ScarJo.
true, that is
Yeah, this
true.
was setting a lot of the table for what was to come, but as a movie,
You should have kept that
agreed.
wig, I think, right?
We're saying D tier.
I
tier.
I
You can put
see.
this at the lowest. You can put this to the right of Hulk if you want.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
D tier.
We're gonna have
think
to
it's
find
D
some D
tier.
tiers eventually.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
we're
I
not
got
squeezing everything in that top 4. Okay, next on the list, Thor 1. Speaking of bad wigs,
Okay.
this is some of the all-time worst wig work you'll
Oh.
see in a major theatrical.
Hey, shout out
release.
Destroyer though. Come on.
Shout out Destroyer. Shout out blonde eyebrows. on
I mean,
Chris
this is rough.
Hemsworth. They dyed his eyebrows.
I fucking love Kenneth Branagh.
Right.
And like he is great. I just
Wait,
think
do you love Kenneth Branagh as a director?
Ooh.
Have you
that?
seen Death on the Nile?
Hamlet was great.
We have enough wine to fill the Nile.
I think he
This
does
version of Hamlet was
something
great.
very specific very well, and that was not what this movie needed.
There's a lot of Dutch angles on the camera on
Yeah,
this
a
movie
lot
as
of
well.
Dutch
It
angles.
really dates it. When the kind of first movies rolled out, I liked Thor better than Captain America. Because Captain America
Interesting.
kind of felt like the same old stuff. Thor felt like a comic book weird movie with Asgard. They kind of set
Okay.
a tone, beautiful. I kind of hold it up a little bit. I like it. It's rough on rewatches.
And I think the back half of it suffers from them just being in a generic rural
yeah, they're
town.
stuck in New
Yeah.
Mexico.
There's no real stakes there. There's kind of very generic villain.
Hawkeye was spliced into the movie awkwardly.
Oh my God,
Where there's like a
yes.
thing where it's like, hey, there's a guy up there, and they only show him close up, and he's like, let me take
I
a
do
shot.
love that whole sequence though, where he's like,
Yeah.
where Coulson is like, wait, I want to see what he can do.
That was like straight from like the Ultimates comic, where
Yeah.
like this man shows up to grab the hammer and
Also,
all
but
that.
like great actors in this: Anthony Hopkins, Tom Hiddleston, even what's his name? One of the four.
Idris Elba? Oh.
Idris Elba. Yeah.
Zach.
Zachary
Levi?
Yeah, Zachary
Ray
Levi.
Winstone?
Yeah, Ray Winstone. Yeah, it's
Michelle,
this is another
not
one.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Rene Russo.
Rene Russo, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, great actor.
Do you think they were like, they cast Idris Elba for this for Heimdall, and then like, I bet later they were like, man, we shouldn't have cast
We should have
Damn,
saved
we
him.
burned our elbow.
him on
He can
Heimdall.
come back. A
He
lot
should
of people
come
come back. A lot
Also,
of people come
yeah,
back.
just give him different contacts. and people-
Yeah.
I had this written as a B, but
Woo! Generous.
it could be the
Wow.
lowest B
Even I think that's
I'd say
generous, but-
highest C.
or highest C. What do we
Highest
have at
C.
C right now?
Yeah.
25th
I
ranked Marvel
I
movie
would put
according to
this
Rotten
above-
Tomatoes.
I would put this above. It could be the highest C.
Highest C.
Highest C. Agreed.
sure.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I like
Only because, well, there's some worse Thor movies, but there's
yeah.
definitely much
Yeah.
better Thor movies.
That's
as
true.
well.
Yeah, Blazing Rays 19 in the chat just saying Sif. Yeah, shout out Jamie Alexander, Lady Sif.
Yeah.
Love to see it. And then they all
Love
get
to
killed
see
in
it.
the next one except
Yeah,
Alexa,
that's true.
is it for her?
Not
her.
She lived on.
Okay, up next, I mean, the first Avengers movie.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Does it take too long to get going? That's my question.
No, I love it. I think it perfectly sets. It has so many people to service.
Right.
Yes.
And it is the closest I've ever seen to a movie that's like, hey, here's 3 characters you've already seen and a bunch of people you saw for maybe 30 seconds.
And
you really are rooting for them. And the whole sequence of like Tony Stark sort of sacrificing himself and then seeing everyone dead.
You'll never put yourself on the line.
I think it's great.
And never been done before.
Right.
This was the first time anybody had ever done a team-up movie.
And even it hit the right balance of like it's fun. I mean, even like let's go get shawarma and like you have to have a moment for each of these heroes, and they each get their moment.
And this was before we got kind of tired of some of the Whedon shtick, right? Like it still kind of mostly works in this. And the dialogue is snappy. The jokes are actually funny.
Also, that whole hero shot of all of them in this
is iconic.
That's still great.
They put it in every Marvel movie still.
Yeah,
Is it in what's it called? Babylon? I can't remember.
Oh, in the montage at the end?
Of all the movies at the end. It probably isn't.
No, because he's still not in present day.
Yeah. Well, but they got Jurassic Park.
Tune in Friday when Evan and I do a 6-hour Babylon stream.
Honestly, I would put this at an A only because there are a couple of Avengers movies
I
which
think they're better Avengers
head and
movies.
shoulders
Agreed. But it's
this is at least
the top of A. It should be the first
yeah,
movie.
I
getting
agree.
an A
I agree.
too.
A for Avengers.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Now we're into phase 2.
Heading into phase 2, 2013. Iron Man 3. Shane Black. We've got.
They call me a teacher.
Yes, the
Mandarin, baby.
The first appearance of Shamdarin. Yes,
Christmas.
Shane Black's. I mean, the practical stunt that they did, where like Iron Man's carrying all the people. Granted, there were a lot of fly wires and stuff when he's rescuing the president from the airplane. But it was a very cool practical stunt of like taking all these stunt actors and dropping them into the ocean.
Sounds like when we're picking and choosing moments to be like, hey, this was good. You did a good job at this one thing.
The whole
movie.
Harley side plot is a little rough. Extremis is definitely rushed.
Yeah. And also, I mean, Extremis became a plot line on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but really, other than that, it went away.
There was an Extremis agent in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Let's not forget.
I know, but like they set it up as like,
Right, it was
shit,
gonna
people
be a
can
big deal.
regrow limbs, and
Also-
then they were like, blah, 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 blah.
You know, most actresses don't get a great. They don't have a lot of stuff to do in the MCU in general, but like
Right.
Rebecca Hall's like really wasted in that.
Yeah.
movie.
she really is.
I wanted this to be better.
You could argue this is the most fun that Gwyneth Paltrow got
That's
to
also
have.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, I think this feels top to bottom like a B.
I have it as a B.
Okay. I think a low B.
Right?
What's our
Yeah,
B-
maybe
what's our
low B.
list look like right
I think
now?
Where are
low
we
B.
at with the B?
Yeah, chat's mostly saying B here.
Is
Yeah.
this is better than Iron Man 2, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
I would put it in
so.
between
Well-rounded
Cap and
mom
Iron
saying
Man
this
2.
is no way this is better than Iron Man 2.
I would also agree it's not better than Iron Man 2,
Really?
but I will
Fascinating.
defer to the masses.
We can put it to the right of Iron
Okay,
Man 2.
Okay.
bottom of B. B bottom.
of B.
Okay, moving on. Brandon's favorite, Thor 2, The Dark World. Everybody knows he rides for Malekith.
Oh, this had a lot of potential.
This is not as bad as I thought it was.
It sounds
It's not
fun
as bad when
as
you
a
go back to
pitch.
it.
Sounds
Yeah.
fun as
Now,
a pitch.
hey,
You're
listen,
like,
if
hey,
you've got to
dark
start with
elves.
"It's not as bad as I thought it was,"
a lot of rough stuff.
like the ink that has been spilled trying to reclaim this movie, guys, let it go. This movie sucked.
They introduced
Also-
a lot of concepts in this movie
yeah.
that didn't make sense at the time, but paid off later.
But it's
No, I
not
will
an
say-
enjoyable 2 hours.
And it's also like one of the most retconned ones.
Yeah.
Like
It
they're
is.
like, oh, the ether. Is it a stone?
Yes, as much as this set stuff up, it also screwed stuff up, right? That they then had to, again, bend over backwards to fix later. Also, I'm going to go on a limb, it's the ugliest Marvel movie.
You just
It's
hate dark
so
elves.
gray.
You just hate dark
It's just,
elves.
but even when they're in London, like all the coloring of this is
Yeah.
it's very Snyderverse.
You wanna give
is
it
what
D?
it is. D. This is
wow.
a stone cold
This
D
is
lock.
honestly, I forget 80% of this movie immediately
Yes.
after watching
Okay,
it.
wait, hold on a second. We have Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. It's C. Which one's that? Is that 3? That's 3. Do we want that to be B? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
It's good B.
Yeah,
Okay.
most of the chat is leaning D, and GPZ boy, thanks for resubbing.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thanks for the.
We're heading into a fun phase
Yeah, we
here.
got a good run here.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier's up next,
I mean,
okay?
it's
2014's Winter
S
Soldier.
tier. Wow.
Now, let's
This is
jump
the
around a little
Russo's
bit.
first director
Are you gonna have this higher than Civil War?
I know. I was just gonna say, do you think it's
Higher than Civil War?
Wait,
Yes.
you think it's better than Avengers?
Yes.
I would give this as an A, but an A before the Avengers.
This was like Avengers was fun. It was cute, and then they did this movie, and it was like, oh,
Damn, dude.
Marvel's here to play.
I mean,
They're gonna do a heavy
you get
movie.
first intro to Black Panther.
No,
No, that's Civil War.
That's Civil
That's
War.
Civil War.
Oh, right.
This is Bucky coming back. This is Robert
Right,
Redford. This is Project Insight.
Baron Zemo.
Is
This
the
is-
elevator scene?
This is the elevator.
No, Baron
scene.
Zemo's also Civil War.
Yeah, you're
All the
obsessed with
things,
Civil War.
all the things Gina loved about this movie were not in this movie.
But this is like this is a great turn. This starts with that great cold open with Batroc, where they're fighting on the ship.
Yes. Okay.
This is a good turn for Black Widow in this movie.
Did you say Batroc?
Batroc?
It's not Batroc.
Called.
It is Batroc.
It's not Batroc.
I didn't say
Batroc.
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 I said Batroc. Rock.
This
rock.
is-
I would give it as an A.
I think A too. I can't do S for this.
Chat. I know you're with me on this.
I'm being
is-
protective of
S
S.
is in the
The
chat.
chat is sending S up the list right now. We got like 45 seconds left on the poll. I mean,
No.
Oh, Brandon.
Blowing it
Cashing
already?
in.
Wow.
That's his golden. All right. Brandon just put his.
Brandon blew his wad early.
He just used his golden snap. So that is locking it. He
Locked in. Locked in.
We each get one. Brandon just used his, so that locks in Winter Soldier into the S tier. We're unable to move it or veto
Wow.
that.
You guys are insane.
Wow, wow, wow.
It's not the best Captain America movie.
and the chat
What?
tied it up too. They was tied between S and A, so it wouldn't have helped.
There we go.
Wow, wow,
Okay.
wow.
I helped you, chat.
All right. Okay, moving on. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1.
Ooh, man.
We didn't know
S-
at the time there would be volumes, but Volume
it
1.
did
This
say
is
volume
S tier
one.
to me.
Did it?
This
Yeah.
is S tier to me. This
This
is
is
a
S
perfect
tier to me,
movie.
Joe.
This is like,
Ooh.
I mean, it's been colored by what has come since.
Right. No.
But start to finish, this
Yeah.
is a great movie.
You cry.
Great opening sequence, great soundtrack.
You cry at a digital talking tree. You cry at a digital raccoon. Like,
Great.
it's
got,
incredible.
yeah, it's got a death scene that's more
Yeah.
effective. You watch a tree die, and that is a more effective death than like 90% of
You watch a
movies.
mom die right at the beginning.
No one cares about that.
Lots of nice laughs, great action
Great
set piece,
soundtrack.
great
I
set
mean-
pieces.
Yeah.
I think like for a very strong trilogy within the MCU, this is like the definitive best one.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
I like this much better than Volume 2, Volume 3. Yeah, I agree. S tier.
S tier.
S tier.
Wow.
We're throwing
Now,
a lot
where
of
should we
S's.
put it in the S tier?
I'd say yeah. I'd put it ahead of
You can put it
Winter
ahead
Soldier.
of Winter Soldier. I'll allow it.
Yeah, I
I'll
would put
allow
it. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm between Avengers and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Okay. Speaking of Avengers Age of Ultron, 2015's Age of Ultron.
This is another much maligned one.
I went hard on this one because I think of all the Avengers movies, this is the worst.
Correct.
Correct.
And including Civil War, which is a Captain America movie, but that's an Avengers movie. I have this at like a D. 'Cause,
Wow,
there's a lot I
really?
don't like about this movie. Though I love Scarlet Witch introduction, great, but like she gets much better in other
Yeah,
movies.
that's true. And also, Pietro's done a little dirty.
Yeah. Ultron's great, and I love Ultron as a villain.
Yes.
James Spader's Ultron is
Good
a lot of
villain.
fun, but it's
Great,
so rushed
yeah.
and all over the
Yes.
place. It introduces Vision.
Yeah, I would say C. I think D is harsh. I would put it at a low C, but I don't know.
I agree because like I enjoy it. I would rewatch this way before I would rewatch Thor 2 or a couple other D
Same,
movies.
Same.
I feel like bottom of C, middle of C feels right.
Also, I do think that moment where Vision comes to life is like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, like
And I mean,
it's got good moments.
He
Go-
almost hangs Red Dong. Almost.
Yeah, Red Dawn, avenge me!
Red Dong. Wolverines.
And we get Sokovia, or we got Sokovia.
Yeah.
H. Basso 13 bring up a good point. Each part of it is a different tier, honestly. This
Oh,
movie is a
yeah.
great movie to break up. Like
That's a
It's-
really good point.
The
Because-
opening sequence is great. So much fun.
Yeah,
Language.
that's true.
Language. I mean,
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Cap-
but that's
Cap
why,
had the awesome,
but
like,
that's why I
magnet
think it's
for
a
his
C
shield.
instead of a D, because I do think that like chunks of it are good. I know we've said that about other movies on this tier where it's like, well, parts of it are good, but in the end it's a mess. But I think this is better than a D.
This is the cocktail party where people are trying to pick up Mjolnir,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Great
Great
sequence.
sequence.
Great
Yeah.
sequence.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't need what does Kobe Smulders say? She's like, oh, I don't need that measured or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
yeah.
hey, aren't you so glad that her character died for such a good reason?
No, let's not talk about it.
I gotta go.
Saw her at a restaurant once.
Chat saying B. So how do you guys feel?
Let's put it in the C's.
I'm saying C.
Let's look at that C.
Let's
list.
leave some room.
Yeah.
It's better than.
Got almost nothing in the A tier.
We could put it. It's better than like Iron Man.
I would say top of
I
the
think
C.
it's better than
top
Iron
of the
Man
C.
2. Yeah, top of the
Top
C.
of the C.
And
Top of the
it might
C,
work its
yeah.
way up to B. It
Yeah.
might work its way up to
Maybe,
B.
maybe.
We'll see. Ant-Man 1, 2015's Ant-Man 1.
Oh, I also loved this.
I really liked this
I
a
would
lot.
I would
It
say
was
not S tier,
fun.
but A.
Yeah, the heist. It was never just a heist. Great.
He's also just so likable.
Yeah.
That whole cast is so likable.
likable.
Michael Pena's whole thing.
Judy Greer has 5 lines.
Judy Greer's got Bobby Cannavale just hanging around, having a good time.
Yeah. David Desmalchin. That's
Yeah.
the first we get of David
Yeah,
Desmalchin.
and I mean,
in
this
the
is,
MCU.
Lewis.
One of 4 Cassies. Just great. Incredible stuff.
A feels like a stretch.
Wow.
This was like fun.
Though I
this
do
showed
enjoy
that
it.
Marvel could do a smaller movie, right? Because
Yeah,
the stakes
with
in
not-
this movie
yeah.
are much lower.
Not.
And this
yeah.
is in between Age of Ultron and Civil War,
Yeah.
right? Like, which became a pattern with the Ant-Man movies where they're
Yeah.
going to be
The
sandwiched
soundtrack's
between.
banging on this one. They use it at Avengers Campus all the time.
And
Yeah,
this one's
this-
fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
this one is like fun. It's not as heavy. You're not,
Right.
you know, like you're
As
not.
far as we know, everyone was vaccinated at this point.
Okay, I'm fine with A.
A? Yeah.
Let's
Bottom of the A.
Yeah,
you
below
gotta put it
Avengers. You
beneath
put it below
Avengers for
Avengers.
sure.
I was going to burn
A for
my
Ant-Man,
golden
A for
snap on
Avengers.
that.
Wow.
Okay.
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 It was never just a heist. Before we get into phase 3, we got to thank our sponsors, Zach.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But you can't do it right now.
That's right.
I don't want to talk to this Zach. I want to talk to a Zach from the past.
Yeah, that guy was in a much better place.
Yeah, let's talk to him.
Hey, Zach here to tell you about one of our sponsors today, Raid Shadow Legends. We've been playing Raid for a few years now, and we're not alone. Raid is an awesome mobile RPG that has over 4 million users and over 250 million downloads. It has over 800 playable champions and 16 factions to choose from, with over 30 bosses to take down and literally over 1 million playable builds. So you'll never get bored. It's got monthly content updates and is fully cross-platform, so you can play with your friends or family without worrying about being trapped in whatever walled garden you're in. Click the link in the description below to get started with Raid and see why it's so highly rated in the App Store. You'll immediately get a huge starter pack with an epic champion, Tyrell, from the High Elves faction. He's got nice pointy ears. Many players consider Tyrell to be the very best epic that Raid Shadow Legends has to offer, with his arsenal of high-powered debuffs suited for all occasions. And you'll get another starter pack after reaching level 25 that includes an epic Rector Drath. She's one of the strongest support epics that you'll definitely need in your collection. Come find us and join Clan New Rockstars. We'll see you in Raid.
Let's continue. Let's get into phase 3.
Phase 3, Captain America Civil War,
Love it.
2016's.
Introduction of the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Introduction of Batroc.
Yep. But as Brandon pointed out, this is an Avengers movie.
Kind of feels like an Avengers
For all
movie.
intents and purposes.
We were promised Serpent Society originally, and then they changed it to Civil War. Yeah, lots of characters kind of brought in. They're setting up things. Like they know they're working towards Infinity War at this point. Like
I'm curious to see where you're going with
This
this.
is the Sokovia Accord.
I
This
think
is Black Panther.
This is a good Avengers movie. This is totally an A in my mind.
Okay,
Yes.
I agree. A.
Baron Zemo's a great villain. Baron
Yeah.
Zemo, the only villain to actually beat the Avengers. Like he
Yeah.
accomplishes his task.
Also, like, you know, in the moment, the stakes aren't quite so high, but as the tension builds, you're like, oh crap! These two guys that I love are now.
The Winter Soldier, Iron Man, Captain America fight is just
It's
so
great.
good.
Yeah,
Iconic,
it's so
the way
good.
it's shot,
So
it's
good.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's great.
Love all the running
Killed
around.
my mom.
And also, good job of like you can see both of their points.
Yeah.
Like there is no clear cut winner there.
I mean, Iron Man's more right, but you know,
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
it's okay.
Yeah, so
I
are we
think
saying
it's definitely
A?
an A.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's an A.
Yes.
This is better than Avengers. I think this should be higher.
Yeah, I think the chat feels pretty split between S and A without having to run.
Okay,
for it.
yeah.
Top of A feels right for
Top-
now.
yeah.
We could always
Top of- yeah.
explore
Yeah.
moving that
Also,
up.
X. Matt sent in 100 bits to help persuade Ultron to be bumped up.
Oh.
James Spader deserves better, so just keep that in mind
Wait,
when we're looking at
We're
it.
not about bribery.
I think Avengers Age of Ultron is in S right now. I think we need to drop it down.
Is in S?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the wrong poster. Yeah, it's the wrong poster.
Oh, good eye.
No. Where did that one go? I don't remember. Where did we put Age of Ultron? High C?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There it
I
is.
love that in an S.
Okay, moving on to Doctor Strange,
Hmm.
the first Doctor Strange film, also in 2016.
I also also loved this
Yeah,
one.
this was fun. This was trippy.
I'd say
a little bit different.
the ending is great. Some of the visuals in the first act with the Caecilius bending the
Caecilius
world
is like
around.
kind of wasted
Oh.
in it.
Yes.
I like Dormammu and like the way they
The
wrapped it
Dormammu
up.
ending
Yeah.
is great. A lot of that first act, it takes him a while to get to Nepal, doesn't it?
I like it though. I like the slow. I like that this one feels different. Like by this point, they were like, "Hey, we can't just do the same thing. We can't have it end with like a big CGI fight." Blah 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 blah. I like that he tricks Dormammu, and that's
Wait.
how he gets out.
It doesn't end with a big CGI fight?
Well-
How would you define, was Dormammu practical?
No,
They
but
don't fight. They have a logic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's not.
There's
he
a fight
uses
right
a different
before the
way.
logic off,
He uses
but-
a different way to defeat him,
Yeah.
setting him up as like a different. And also, like he's so at the beginning of the movie, he's so unlikable. I think almost more so than Tony Stark.
Right.
And I like that they were like, let's make him a dick. Let's get him. I liked it.
I think to me, this is like a very solid B. In
Okay.
that, like, better than the bad MCU movies, not quite in the
Yeah.
great MCU movie.
I think I had
category.
initially written A here. 'Cause
Yeah, I would put this as a low A,
Low
but
A, high B. Where are we at on this?
Yeah, what do we got on the list right now?
Let's see.
That B is looking scant. I feel like
Yeah.
it belongs in there.
we don't need to put it in there just to fill it out.
It's better
not gonna
than.
feel bad.
I think it's better than Captain America: First Avenger.
Uh-huh.
So it could be a high B right there.
Yeah,
All right.
I was surprised to learn this was the number 13 ranked MCU movie on Rotten
I
Tomatoes.
like
They just love the visuals, man.
Yeah.
And also
The
the
visuals are great. That sequence when he first arrives at Comertage and gets pushed by each
Also,
one.
like original, like again, a lot of new visuals we had
Right.
never
Yes,
seen.
the
Portals.
folding cities in on
Yeah,
itself.
it's great.
the
Very
first,
trippy.
The first of 46 appearances of Wong.
Bless his heart.
Work.
also that scene between Tilda Swinton and Doctor Strange right before she dies, like
Yeah.
great scene.
The light, the slow motion lighting.
Yeah.
I would give this an A, but I will
you're
defer.
talking me into it.
I will defer.
Also, the facial hair wigs on Benedict Cumberbatch.
But he himself is such a good actor.
Yeah, he's
Everything he
Dormammu
does
in
with his
this.
hand,
great.
everything.
He is
great.
Dormammu.
He's
He
great.
does the mocap.
I
Yeah,
think-
maybe A.
I think A.
I feel good. I feel good about B.
Well, we feel better.
We can always move it up.
A.
We can always move it up later. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Wait, I have a question. Do we have to use our snap in the moment, or can we go back at the end?
You
and
get
use
one
our
snap whenever
Yeah, you get
want.
one snap whenever you want.
It has a reality and a time stone, so you can do whatever you
Good
want.
point.
Ah,
Guardians of the Galaxy
Drunk with
Volume 2.
power.
This is Ego and
Yeah.
the introduction
I
of
love Ego.
Mantis.
Love Ego, love Mantis.
This
love,
is-
love Mantis's interactions with Drax.
This is Nebula crossing the threshold and becoming
is-
one of the crew.
All CGI, everything.
All CGI,
I'm
everything.
not gonna lie, Guardians, like as a trilogy,
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
Yeah, if you're looking at just Guardians, I think this is like third place, right?
Correct.
Of the three
Correct.
Guardians.
This
That's
this
true.
movie spends too much time with the team split up.
Yeah.
That was also an issue in the third movie.
I also felt like even when I was watching it in real time, I was like, man, this tension between Rocket and Peter feels like unearned and like weird. And like it was like forcing everyone to split up in a weird way. And again, the third one kind of like sheds more light on Rocket in an interesting way, and I think you view this movie differently now.
I will say, like, the argument that I will make about Guardians of the Galaxy is that they do a very good job with. Some might say these are the highest stakes, right?
Yeah.
Like there is a dude, but they do a good job of like, hey, really high stakes, but we're gonna kind of undercut it in a good way, so that it's still fun. It doesn't ever cross over into like maudlin. And same with the first one, like they're actively dying and in danger, but it's still fun. And I think that is a hard line to straddle.
Yeah. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Oh,
The death of
Yondu.
Yondu is like very
Yondu.
tough.
Great
I mean,
Yondu
it's
moment.
tough because like
Yeah.
I kind of hate Peter's journey in this. Like he's too quick to be like, oh, my dad is Ego. I'm so happy. It's like
Oh,
you didn't
you
care about your
love
dad
that
ever your
little
entire
boy.
life. You loved your mom. Your mom was all.
You
was all
come
about.
from loving parents. You were never abandoned.
What am I supposed to do about that?
He was searching for a family his whole time.
know.
Yeah,
But I
Yondu
also-
and Yondu's sacrifice.
Yeah, I hear you though because like the three Guardians movies are very good.
They're very
the best
good.
Of what
I
Marvel
think-
does.
I think
and I don't want to punish this one just because it's not as good as the
I
other two
know. I
Guardians.
think compared to the other movies in the MCU,
You're talking me up. You're talking me
this
up.
is an A.
Say it. An
This
A?
is an A.
I think this is a
No,
low
I think
A.
it's
low A.
Okay, I'll
Oh, A.
grant the lowest A.
Yeah.
Put it at the end of A.
Chat's going to A too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, chat.
Because
I was surprised.
There's so many good
We
things.
can't have 17 movies in the A tier. I'm just going to say that out loud. Okay, next up, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Ooh, man.
This is tough.
Boy, the...
Sounds like another movie in the A tier to me.
I mean, I do think this is. I have an A. I wrote down an A initially because this is like a very fun Spider-Man movie.
I think this
Yeah,
is the weakest, though, of the Holland Spider-Man
But
movies.
it's a
Weaker
good-
than Far From Home.
Oh.
Zach,
Dude, Mysterio
Mysterio
is a great villain.
And
Yeah.
the movie.
What? The movie? What?
I think it's also like a great. I mean, this is sort of a thankless job. Like when you get Iron Man, it's like, oh, who
Yeah.
the hell? We remember like a cartoon Iron Man, but we can't. And Tom Holland came in with the unenviable task of having two actors, one who like people came around to him eventually, one who like people love.
Though we're not comparing this to non-MCU
No,
movies.
I know, but I'm just saying, like he had a hard task, and he's immediately
Yeah.
likable. I didn't really know him from anything else. Like at this point,
You weren't following the.
the Billy Elliot.
The Billy Elliot
no,
saga on
I
Broadway.
admit, like I didn't know who he was,
Right.
and I was like, God, this kid is
He's
likable.
good. He's good.
Number 6 MCU movie, according to Rotten Tomatoes.
So it sounds like an A to me. This is an A movie. I mean, it's
It's
so
not
much
an
fun.
S movie
Michael
for
Keaton,
sure.
I don't
Michael
think it's an
Keaton-
S movie. I also
No,
think it's an
it's
A
not
movie.
an S. It's an A. The scene of like Michael Keaton.
Answering the door.
Yes.
I mean-
and then being in the car with him, like
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Listen,
The boat-
Listen,
the
if
boat,
you
the
just
ferry
showed me
sequence.
the Michael Keaton scenes from The Flash, that movie gets S tier. So
all you did after that movie was bitch about the spaghetti and how they made pasta
they don't know how to make
10 times.
pasta in movies.
This is A tier.
Wow,
I think it's
Chat's
A
going
tier.
B tier here. I'm
I'm in with the chat. I feel like
Wow.
B tier all the way.
We got like 30 seconds left here.
Top of the B.
Grump tier.
Let's look at
Top
the tier
of the
list.
B.
Where we at? Yeah, this is better.
tier.
Is it better than Doctor Strange? Yeah, it's better than Doctor Strange. Top of the B. Top
Oh,
of
they're neck and
Top
neck,
of the
but yeah,
B.
they belong next to each other
Top
for
of the
sure.
B.
Okay, coming up next. Ooh, Thor Ragnarok. Now this
This is very divisive, right?
this is S for me.
S. No,
Oh my
I won't allow that.
This is S for me.
Wow. I admit when I saw it, I loved it. I didn't understand the hate. I get that Taika Waititi is not for everyone.
Number 4.
Yeah,
This is the good type.
Good Taika.
Number 4 ranked MC movie on Rotten Tomatoes, 93% fresh.
I mean, it's so
This
much fun.
would be-
It put
I
Thor on
love-
like the character on a
Dude,
much better path.
from the like,
I love Korg.
Yeah,
I mean, my girl Kate Blanchett cooking.
you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
great.
she's
It's a great Odin movie. It's a great Loki movie. It's a great Thor movie.
It also ends with the destruction of a
Yeah.
planet.
Yes.
Ragnarok.
It's got stakes.
Goes
I mean,
off.
we meet Korg and
Talking me into it, kind of.
dude, the fun of this movie is
It's the
both
best Thor
extremely
movie.
I mean,
fun.
I will say like either high A
Yeah,
or
yeah.
low A.
I mean,
because it's not
when-
better than some
You
of
can
the
put it in
upcoming
S tier, but
Avengers
it's
movies.
not as good as Captain.
agreed. It could be at the bottom of S tier.
Okay.
When Immigrant Song kicks in on the
That's
Rainbow
true.
Bridge, dog.
Yeah.
There's not two better
Yeah.
MCU sequences.
Beauty gods.
Also, this is when we get the Hulk dive and
Yeah.
just slam
Yes.
onto
I
that
And the
Rainbow
Grandmaster.
Bridge.
It's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, all
Top
right,
to
low S,
bottom.
low
You're
S.
talking to me.
Top to bottom.
Talked
S.
into it. Talked
This
into
is the
it.
biggest chat I think has agreed. Like mostly everyone's in for S.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we got one vote for Dear Below.
Yeah, and I know it's very polarizing. Anytime we talk about this movie, there's at least like 4% of comments are like, "This movie ruined Thor," and it's
I think
like,
that's
really?
probably-
Did you watch The Dark World?
That's probably Berg in the chat trolling us.
Oh,
No, I also think they're just people that hate comedy in their superhero movies, and they want ultra sincere Zack Snyder joyless superhero movies. That's fine. That's fine.
Someone is on their way to your house right now. They're gonna ring the doorbell, punch you in the nose, and walk away.
1,000 bots are on their way to my house.
1,000 bucks.
That's the Snyder.
Hey,
that's the
from
Snyder
the-
army, right?
According to Zack Snyder, 1,000 bots equals 800 million viewers.
Oscar winner, Zack Snyder. Okay, up next. This is a hell of a stretch, too,
Yeah,
by the
this
way.
is a good stretch.
Marvel was
This is a
cooking
hell of a stretch.
2016, 2017, 2018. It's wild.
Yeah.
Black Panther won.
This to me is S tier.
Yeah, this is pretty S tier.
yeah, besides that last fight scene, right, which looks
which
like
is gummy,
garbage.
which is gummy as hell. But even like then when you go outside and the rhinos and that element of the fight is actually holds up really well.
Yeah.
And it looks good. It's just when they're in the dark that it looks
The
like
whole
garbage.
sequence in,
Yeah.
are they in Madripoor? Or no, they're in Korea.
No, they're
South Korea.
South Korea.
Seoul, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all like very fun.
Beautiful.
I mean, Killmonger.
I
come
mean,
on.
just all of the Dora
The
Milaje.
freaking
So
the
killer.
waterfall sequence.
Yeah.
The like
Yeah.
M'Baku, I'll feed you to my children. What do you mean?
power of
I'm
the
joking, I'm a
Will be
vegetarian.
taken away.
Oh.
Yeah. This to me is S tier.
Yeah.
Damn.
pretty good.
Chills.
S tier.
I mean,
All S's in the
Killmonger
chat.
at the end,
Yeah.
throw me in the
Also
ocean.
talk about a killer cast.
There's a really good
Everyone.
story too. Good,
Yeah.
like it feels very character centric.
Watchable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, best soundtrack? Original soundtrack? Original.
Like-
I feel like you've got to give
yeah.
it
Yeah,
because, like, you know,
Original.
people mention Guardians, but like they're using pop songs that already
That's true,
existed.
that's
You know,
true.
like
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this, where should we put it in the S tier though? I mean, pretty
I think
high.
it's a solid mid, I think.
Better than.
mid. What's already in there? What's already at the
So you have
top?
Iron Man, Guardians.
I put it above Guardians.
I think I
Above
might
Guardians?
put this above Guardian.
Yeah.
It's number one on Rotten Tomatoes of all MCU
Oh,
movies.
really?
wow.
Not that they know everything,
No.
and it's like tied. It has 96%, and I think the number. Oh, actually, Endgame has 94%, so
Okay.
it's above that.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, I'm confident in this. In this.
I mean, there are going to be some things that might jump it soon.
Yeah.
We jump right into Avengers Infinity War.
S tier,
I mean, it's S
top
tier.
of the S tier.
I'm gonna show my hand. Both this and Endgame are both
Same.
S tier.
Those are my top of the S tier. Man, was anyone in the theater? I was
This
crying like
movie
a baby.
ends with everyone dead, pretty much.
Oh, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
And you want to talk about bringing together storylines? Whoo, doggy. There's a lot to cover in this movie.
The Titan fight sequence is
First hour just is great.
God,
And there's a-
it's good. It's start to finish. It's good.
And in this movie, you think like, oh, they're gonna get the glove away from it. They're gonna stop it.
I mean, they do
I guess
it,
he'll have
yeah.
to figure out something for the next movie.
They do.
I mean, friggin' Peter as he's
Yeah.
Pretty
Peter
tough.
Parker's
Gina
Pretty tough.
disappearing.
God,
I mean,
yeah.
T'Challa when he freaking.
Rocket watching everyone die.
Yeah.
Also, this
tough.
is when Gamora dies. This is
What
this
did
is
it cost? What did it cost?
some of the best lines.
Yeah.
Some of the best. Yeah,
It's
this
S
is
tier.
top of the S tier for me.
You think
I mean,
of
Tom
it?
feels. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Top of the S.
Yeah.
Top of the S.
But make room at the top of the S
Yeah.
tier because next we got
Ant-Man and the
Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Wasp,
baby.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonny Birch. Walton Goggins alone.
I mean, talk about forgettable movies though.
I know. I was just like, oh
I-
my
I
god.
think about this
I can't remember anything about this movie.
No,
Walton
I
Goggins.
admit when you said Walton Goggins, I was like, oh yay, it's that one.
And what do we get? 45 seconds of Michelle Pfeiffer in this one? Is this where
Yeah.
she's introduced?
Yeah,
right?
This to
They
me
bring
is,
her out of the quantum
there's
realm.
nothing bad about this
No.
movie. It's just kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
It's a B.
It doesn't live up to the heights of the
I'd
first
say C.
Wow.
one. Yeah.
I would say, I mean, like, I was the number one Ant-Man and the Wasp, like, defender. I was out there, like, every week I was like, guys, don't
Yeah.
forget, there's another Marvel movie coming out. It's Ant-Man and the Wasp. I was so ready.
I
Yeah.
love this movie, but I can recognize it doesn't
It's
hit the
forgettable.
heights of like the other ones.
And
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah, it's competent.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
like a fine watch if you're on an airplane. This is not a bad
Yeah,
movie to pop
yeah,
on.
yeah.
But
Compared
It
to
makes
the
sense
others.
because it's like a tiny movie.
Yeah, compared
That's
to the
right.
You're on an
others,
airplane.
you're right that it's not. It is just very forgettable to me.
Yeah.
Not
drop it
it
and
doesn't
see.
stand out for being bad. It doesn't stand out for
Well,
being
also,
good.
I have a take on this entire Ant-Man franchise. Is that like the fun of the first one is that it feels like relatively isolated and small, and it gets to be its
Yeah.
own idiosyncratic thing. Each element of the franchise, the movies get bigger, their scope gets bigger, and I think it loses its charm. And boy, we're going to talk about that with Quantumania. But okay, feels like a nice solid top of the C,
Yeah, top of the
mid
sea.
top of the C.
What are we looking at? See, better than Avengers: Age of Ultron?
Nah, maybe right after that.
Oh.
maybe.
Yeah, let's put it in there.
Yeah.
Put it right there.
Okay.
Let's put it right
Great. Then we head
right
into Captain Marvel. This will be another controversial
Careful,
one.
boys.
This will be controversial. Again, extremely successful film.
I think this film gets hate it doesn't deserve.
there. No, I agree.
But I also think it is. I think much like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think it's a fine movie. I don't think it's an excellent movie.
Right.
I think it is mid-level. In which case, I would give it a C. I think it's a solid C student.
Yeah, because like this movie's much better if you're doing a rewatch. Do it in like timeline order.
Yeah.
And do like Captain America: First Avenger, then do Captain Marvel, and then do like.
I mean, it has good, like great,
It's
great
not
soundtrack.
fun in between
great-
Infinity War and Endgame. It's not fun there.
It's got some great '90s nostalgia.
There's some fun Sam Jackson stuff
Fun
in it.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Ronan returns, which is like a real fun.
I'm sort of
element
talking to a low B here as we're talking it through.
There's something to be said about the movie doing as well as it did in between Infinity War and Endgame when it probably did better than Endgame.
Yeah, you're right.
No, Marvel was cooking. They could have put
Well,
out.
it was also like
they could have
yeah.
out
See this
Poop
movie,
Man, the ninth Avenger, and it would have.
Well, when's Poop Man coming out?
I think if we're like grading it, I think it's low B, high C.
That feels right.
Yeah, most of the chat's saying B. I would,
Yeah,
low
Yeah,
B.
okay,
Low
great.
B feels right.
Yeah.
Bottom of the B. Okay.
Took the bullet for that.
And then into the movie. We all remember
Endgame.
where we were the first
Now,
time we
what's
saw
better,
this movie.
Endgame or Infinity War?
no,
Endgame.
Endgame is.
Agent.
Endgame's better.
Listen, I was crying so many points.
It might not be as good of a movie like top to bottom,
Right.
But the last 35 minutes.
Well,
I
it
mean,
is
that,
like-
as soon as you hear "on your left,"
Yeah.
I burst into tears.
the freaking portals.
I burst into tears
I mean,
in the theater.
There's also nothing that's been memed harder than that
Yeah.
final battle. There's nothing that's had like a bigger impact on culture.
Yeah.
also just even where it starts, seeing how bleak and how bleak it is and how
When they
depressed everyone
kill
is.
Thanos like 20 minutes into the movie.
Chop
and
his
you're
head
like,
off.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then it's
yes.
5 years later, and you're like, what?
And also to do a good time travel story
Yeah.
done in a way that's different enough from what's been done before is very difficult.
Sure.
And
Agreed.
it all looks good too. Like all the like revisiting scenes.
And,
It's really
also
good.
poking fun at other
Yeah, yeah.
scenes, America's ass, all that.
And again, like, man, we take it for granted now, but just both this Infinity War and Endgame, the logistics of pulling these movies
yes,
off.
yes.
It's not. They're not even making movies anymore.
Yeah.
You can't even compare
So
this
we
to
should
other
have it on the
movies.
list, is what you're
This
saying?
this to me is S tier #1 spot,
Okay.
and it's because of all of these movies on the list, I've seen every single one of them in theaters. Nothing got a reaction
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
Correct.
movie.
Yeah.
That is absolutely
At multiple parts.
Maybe
Right.
nothing will, you know?
maybe
Yeah,
nothing will ever
yeah,
again.
I can't imagine anything
I
ever
did
will.
like that moment at Comic-Con when the Russos were like, okay, we need all of you to work really hard to make this a good event when we do these movies again. Because it almost felt like we can't pull this off again. Please be nice to us.
And in 51% to 49%, the chat went with Infinity War is better.
Ooh,
And then-
interesting.
Whoa!
I kind of agree with that.
but everyone says
But-
that's tier regardless.
Here's the thing, I do agree that probably like better written.
This has a better
but this
ending,
was
but-
just so
yeah.
satisfying.
Yeah, it was
Such a
very-
satisfying end. I realize that might not.
And just like the
satisfy
high
everybody,
point
but-
of this movie is just legitimately higher than the high point of any other movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree.
Top
with
of the
S.
S. Top of the
S.
S.
Yes.
Top of the
the
S.
S.
With a
that.
bullet.
Take that.
With a
In the
bullet.
last movie here in Phase 3,
Spider-Man Far From Home. Again, I think I might like it more than the rest of the panel.
Yeah.
I like it.
I do like it. I think of like the 3 Spider-Mans. It's the least fun.
Yeah, here's what I think. I think everything about Mysterio is wonderful.
Right.
I think a lot of the like high school hijinksy stuff
Yeah.
doesn't hit as hard in this
He's
as
like
it did in
walking
Homecoming.
around Europe instead of swinging around New York City, which is all I want him to do as Spider-Man is swing around New York
Yeah,
City.
I think it has like
Never
it
does
has
it.
an unenviable task of like
Yeah.
we just saw Endgame.
Yeah. It's
And this
a
is
reset.
this is high school students.
Right.
So it's automatically much lower stakes. But that being said,
This-
again,
this
he's
also
so
the-
damn likable.
This is also the movie that like is playing with the idea of like the impact the Avengers have had on the world.
Sure.
It's true.
And like the Stark technology and the blah 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 blah. Something that
Yeah.
would get retread a lot in Phase 4 and beyond,
But
right?
the
But-
idea that like Peter Parker's been given the mantle by Iron Man, his idol, and he's barely
Yeah.
18 years old.
I mean, also the ending of this is so heartbreaking.
Right.
yes, and heavy and like kind of
Yeah.
ooh, damn, dude.
It has like a
This to me is not lower than a B. We're not giving this.
Oh,
lower.
I have it as a B.
Sure.
I have it as a B. I have
It
it-
could again. I don't know if I use my golden snap to say A, but I'm fine with a B. I might. Are we even gonna use our
You wanna
golden
put it in
snaps,
B?
I
Gina?
mean, that's a good question. I feel like I might go back and rearrange
I might-
at the end.
Maybe, like, where do you want to put it on the B list?
I mean, I have it above Doctor Strange, but I understand that might not be popular.
I think I know what I'm going to use.
I
my
would
snap
put it
on, and
ahead
people
of
are gonna
the Iron
hate
Man.
me for it.
There. Right behind Doctor Strange?
Yeah, right behind
Okay,
Doctor
that feels
Strange.
good.
Okay.
Hey, before we take a break, before Brandon needs a break, we're
It's
gonna
my body.
talk about.
I have an old man's body.
Speaking of old man's bodies, we're going to talk about one of our sponsors, Helix. Okay, Helix Sleep is sponsoring today's episode of the Breakroom. They offer 20 unique mattresses, including the award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections. Helix Plus for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kids mattresses. If you're not sure what mattress to get, don't worry. Helix's sleep quiz makes getting the perfect mattress so easy. You just take the quiz, and Helix finds the perfect mattress for you. Helix delivers your mattress right to your door. Comes in this fun, like, box that feels like it's too small to fit a mattress in. You take the box open, you cut open some plastic, floop, it pops out, it inflates. It's like a magic trick. They'll ship it anywhere in the U.S., and you can set it up fully yourself. They have a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure you love your mattress. Plus, Helix mattresses have a 10-year warranty with their financing options and flexible payment plans. Should have been hard to say, but it was. A great night's sleep is never far away. I have a Helix mattress at home. I think so does Eric, so does Jessica. We all love them. I get a good night's sleep every night. Can't you tell I'm well rested? They even have a weighted blanket that Evan likes.
Yes. Big fan.
If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix Sleep today. July 31st is the last day to participate in their 4th of July sale. That's today if you're watching this. It's the perfect time to upgrade your sleep with 30% off an Elite or Luxe mattress, plus get 2 free pillows or take 25% off site-wide. Click the link below or go to helixsleep.com to find out more about this limited time offer. Okay, we're heading into everybody's favorite stretch, Marvel Phase 4.
The Multiverse Saga.
The Multiverse
begins.
Saga. Clear out some space in that C&D team.
This is where everyone turns against me.
Yeah. Okay, so
Begins with a real multiverse of a film, huh? Black Widow.
Black Widow. We all watched it from home.
I watched it in a theater.
How?
I don't know how this keeps coming up, but I saw it in the theater. I saw it at 10 o'clock at night. I was like one of 10 people. We were all like really
yeah.
is this a Berenstain Bears effect taking place for you?
I remember seeing it in theaters because I fell asleep during the third act.
Oh, because I guess in my brain it was only released on Disney Plus,
Yeah.
but it was a day and date.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
And I committed. I said, I'm back in.
It does seem kind of not fair with this movie that that's
Evan
the only
drove-
movie we watch not in a
Evan
theater.
drove to a different state that didn't have as strong of regulations and went and saw it in a movie theater.
Yeah, Black Widow. It is hard for me to judge because it's the
Like
only one of these movies I didn't see in a
Yeah,
movie
it's so
theater.
hard.
And it was also, I think, regardless of how you feel about it and some of the things that got introduced in it, also very forgettable.
Very forgettable.
Very forgettable. It's a solid movie to me. When
Yeah.
you actually are watching it, it's like fun characters.
Yeah.
plot
The
lines, makes sense.
Yelena and Red Guardian are both really fun
Yeah.
characters.
Rachel Weisz.
I
is
think
great.
the wet fart of the villain
Yeah.
in the final 30 minutes.
Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
Or Dreykov.
Ivan Drago is in the Rocky franchise, but
Yeah.
if he was in this,
Yeah,
Dreykov,
that'd be
Ivan
great.
Dreykov.
That'd be
Dracov,
great.
and then the Taskmaster switcheroo. It just kind of leaves you empty a little bit. This is not like a movie that should have been this triumphant return for his
Right.
character.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel triumphant.
I think it's fine.
It's fine.
It's
for,
not.
like-
It's not like I would never say to someone, "You
Yeah.
have to see this movie," or if someone's like, "Hey, I've got one day to get through the MCU," this would be one of the ones that I'd be like,
This
you
is
can skip
also
it.
one movie that we could look back a year from now after Thunderbolts comes out and reevaluate some
Right.
of this
That's
movie,
true. I
right?
think on its own, compared to the other ones, this to me is a C.
I'd written C.
Yeah.
Yes.
A low C.
Yeah, chat's going C, though we did get 4 votes for A, which is nice.
Hey,
Wow. Okay.
Contrarians in the chat.
Those
Love
are
to hear it.
some mind wipes.
Those are people who really love Florence Pugh and all her
Right.
works.
They're
It was real to me.
they're watching the stream from the
It was real to me.
from the Red Room.
With
are
her eyelids taped open.
Yes. Okay, coming up next, is this, I was just thinking about this movie, other than the movie that follows it, this is the last origin story we've gotten in the MCU. The most recent
wow.
origin story movie, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It was certainly the last solo character origin story movie
Right.
that we've
Wow,
gotten.
you're right. That's crazy.
2021. Again, the 10th ranked MCU movie on Rotten
10th?
Tomatoes with a 91% fresh rating.
I liked this movie a lot. It felt
I like it.
fresh. I love the martial arts in it. It felt very different from the kind of
I
felt like we're in a rut for a little bit.
I'll give it.
similar
I'll give it
movies.
2 minor demerits though. I think I like it more than I dislike it for sure.
Yeah.
The ending battle.
Yeah.
It's a
Wet,
little
wet farty, just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's a
CGI, like Ghost Dragon, rigmarole.
I
And then,
like the way the rings work when they're fighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I do like the this whole era was like, oh, the villains are like justified in their actions kind of thing.
Yeah.
well, and
Yeah.
like, real Mandarin is cool, and Tony Long, right, is cool.
Yeah.
He does a good job. But I will also say, this is just personal preference. Not a big Aquafina. Not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, you're more of a Dasani person, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
No, let's do it, Evan. Come on, Mike.
Arrowhead all day.
You know, I do think the thing I think I like the best about this is that it is hard at this point in the MCU to introduce new fighting styles.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
And to me, like to me, like especially that first sort of like fight when the two characters like see each other and
Where
he's
Wenwu
describing
meets
it.
his.
Oh, in the
future
building,
wife.
right? Like on is that the one with the scaffolding?
No,
Yeah.
oh,
That happens later. You're talking about like early on
forest.
when Wenwu first meets Shang-Chi's
Yeah,
mom.
and I was like,
They're like fighting with the
that
wind and
fight
stuff.
scene to me
Yeah.
is
Yes.
one of the best in the MCU because it's so different than anything
Yeah.
that came before.
And
it.
there's 3 or 4. I mean, the bus sequence is incredible.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
scaffolding fight sequence, some really great action set pieces
Yeah.
in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could put this in the A's.
Yeah, I like the chat right now. The 35 votes for A, 10 votes for S, and 4 votes for B. So, but that's
Yeah.
it. It's
That-
spread
that
between-
feels
Yeah,
right.
To me, this is an A. This is
That
a
feels
solid
A.
A.
Yeah. Yes.
Where should we put it in the A's, do you think?
Oh, what do we got in that A right now? Not as many in the A's.
Avengers. I would put it ahead of Ant-Man.
Yeah, between Avengers and
I would put it
Ant-Man?
ahead of Ant-Man, yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
I also think this is a movie that could raise over time. If we get a Shang-Chi 2,
I know.
and the things
Yeah.
established in this become more important to the overall
Yeah.
universe.
I do think it suffers from the fact that like they were like, let's like not address anything about this movie ever again at this point. Whereas like if
Yeah.
it was a character that grew on us and that we loved and everything, like we'd
Yeah.
be
He's
like,
gonna.
oh, this was the start.
Yeah, he's gonna like show up in Doomsday, and we're gonna be like, "What's going on here?"
Yes.
Where's
the
Shang-Chi been?
timing of this, like for this movie to come out, pandemic, right? Then strikes. There's just been the delays. It does feel like
Yeah.
if this movie would have come out pre-Endgame,
Yeah.
we might already be dealing with a Shang-Chi 2
Like
right
they
now.
should have
Yeah.
just thrown Shang-Chi into Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania for like 2 minutes. They both live in San Francisco. It would have been so
Yeah,
easy.
That's true.
It's weird.
I kept waiting for it to happen.
Have
It was
them be at the
weird.
same Baskin Robbins.
Yeah.
I think that this trilogy, because like to me, Spider-Man is sort of its own thing. But like you had Avengers Endgame, and then there was a Spider-Man, and then Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals. I think hit that perfect trilogy of racist and sexist being like, we want our Endgame back. How do you go from Endgame to this? It's like the same thing that happens in the Star Wars universe.
It made a ton of money, and this also got to be the first Marvel movie that really went back to theaters post-pandemic.
Right.
True.
And you say,
That's
I mean,
true.
it had a very low box office, but that was suffering from like the kind
Yeah,
of post-pandemic.
that's true.
People were
yeah,
afraid to go
I
back
went
to
out to see
movies.
it 3 times that week. I was like,
Hell
come
yeah.
on, I need this movie.
Hell
Oh, Evan's a one-man box office boost over there. Oh, I saw it. Didn't we see it together at a screening?
No, we saw Guardians 3.
Oh, that's right.
Dang, it was that memorable, his day
Yeah.
with Evan.
I saw it at a screening. Okay, up next. And folks, are we going to see our first F tier?
Oh, no.
we
Talking
got.
off screen, right? About what?
We don't
we
have
have
an
on the
F tier
Fs.
yet. 2021's Eternals.
God, that's
Oscar-winning
fair.
Chloe Zhao comes in hard with Eternals. Like this has some beautiful shots in it. I won't argue that. It has our first sex scene in a Marvel property. Finally, some characters have sex in the MCU, confirmed. But man, there's so many characters. It's all over the place.
I'm gonna save my opinion until last.
Okay.
It's also it's
introducing
it's
a lot
dis-
of concepts.
it's disconnected from the entire rest of the MCU, despite their best efforts to try to connect it to
Yeah.
stuff. It's just wow. I wish it were if it were not a Marvel movie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Almost like the weight of it being a Marvel movie holds it back because they need to serve all these masters and they maybe can't go as weird as like a concept like the Eternals deserves.
Right.
But yeah, also the movie doesn't work at all.
All right, here I go.
Oh boy.
I'm an Eternals defender. I'm gonna get torn apart in the chat for this, but
That's
I am
fine.
committed. Brandon is right. It's gorgeously shot.
Yeah.
I also love the fact that it is so different than any other Marvel movie. It's so different, and it deals with these very, like, you can say there are sort of anti-heroes. You've got Loki. You've got characters who start out sort of morally gray, like maybe Tony Stark. This is the first movie where you're like, oh my God, this is like, it's everything is sort of bleak. The bad guys just want to live. And the good guys aren't who you thought they were. It's the most complex.
Earth is an egg, ready to hatch.
Yeah.
And it's also like, what do you do in that situation? No one has a good answer. No one has a good answer of like, should we let Earth die? Should we create this thing that will then go on to
I
create
have a
lots
good
of
answer to
life?
that.
I think it's like a more.
Don't let Earth die.
I think it's the most morally complex of the movies, and it has a different tone than any of the other ones.
I agree it's aiming for all that. I don't think it pulls it off. I also think, like, man, one lesson we could take from this, don't introduce that many characters we don't know.
It is a shame. There's so many good actors.
There's so many.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't remember, Makari, what are there, 4 minutes of screen time? You know, he's Sprite, like, Angelina Jolie barely says a word in the whole
This is
movie.
the first time I was introduced to Dong Out Saltburn Boy.
Barry Keoghan. God damn. Is he ever going to live it
He's
down?
got a name, Gina. He's not just a dong.
Sabrina Carpenter's boyfriend.
Yeah. Mr. Sabrina Carpenter.
It's freaking Cappuccino Summer or whatever.
Also, the fact that Angelina Jolie is like losing her memories in this is like heartbreaking.
Sure.
You've got like every actor in it. It's like,
It's a good storyline.
God, they're all so great.
We got a lot of Eternals defenders in the chat.
Yes!
Actually.
I mean,
so the poll went from was 43% said A or higher, and then the next one after that was C. Grookey for Smash asking or saying this is the most divisive Marvel's movie.
It's very divisive.
I think it's very divisive. I genuinely, I have now watched it 3 times. I like it more every time I watch it.
And I'll couch what I'm about to say with, I probably need to revisit it and see how it holds up a few years later. This has D printed all over it, baby. Eternals.
I know, we should have had an E tier. Also, Elijah Dante, thank you for resubbing, saying Eternals was the movie that temporarily cured my MCU burnout. Very interesting.
Exactly.
Like, I loved-
it's so different.
In theaters, I really loved like the sequence when Arishem first appears, like brings Cersei like up into space, and it's like, yeah, the scale is interesting, and like all the concepts.
But the deviants are CGI nothing.
The deviants are so wasted in this.
Even the interplay, the like Richard Madden.
Listen, I admit I saw this and I went out and I bought the comic and I read the comic immediately.
The wasted Kit Harington of it all.
We were talking earlier, like the way it's told, like in media res, and like you're kind of jumping around in the story, and it's not linear, and that kind of, I think it hurts the movie because they're trying to do it as also, like a gotcha. Like this was actually happening.
Why didn't Fastos stop the bombing of Hiroshima?
Because there were no deviants involved.
No, like that's part of the moral quandary. The whole movie is a moral
That's just human on human violence. If it was the deviants building an atom bomb, then he would get involved.
But that's why they like why these cracks start to appear, because some of them, like every character is.
Did Fastos invent New Coke?
For sure. Confirmed.
Confirmed?
GSU Eagle saying, don't forget the introduction to Blade, of course.
I know.
Only gets worse. Every day that goes by, only gets worse.
All we heard was a voice. We don't know who said it.
Black Knight. 2 characters, come on.
Okay.
Also, Dane went saw his fiance, girlfriend? I don't know if they were married yet or not.
I think
get sucked up into space in a park around a bunch of other people, and no one said anything. I'll just say
I say D.
I will remind everybody that there aren't a lot of movies left, and we 2 people still have golden snaps. So.
I know.
I'm really trying to goad Zach into snapping this.
No, I've got a snap target coming up.
No, I have a snap target coming up, but this, oh God.
D.
If I don't use my snap target, I'm coming back to this.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
fair.
Zach's saying D.
It's better than Thor Dark World. I will say that.
This is a B for me.
I would put it to left of Thor Dark World if we're gonna put it in the
Are you seriously giving it a D?
Top of the D. Gina?
I don't think it's a D.
I think it's a D.
I could put it in the C's, but not a D. A low C. It's better than Black Widow.
Okay, I do agree on that. Okay, fine. I'll concede low C.
What if we put Black Widow down a D, or is that rude? Is that too rude?
I'm fine
for
with
Black
that.
Widow?
No, Black Widow doesn't.
Okay, that's fine.
We can't leave Thor 2 alone there too long. Okay, Spider-Man No Way Home. Boy, this movie. I mean, also the nice thing about this movie, it was just big.
Oh, I thought you were
know
going to
what I
say,
mean?
boy, this movie is bad. And
No,
I
I think it's just like
popped open in shock.
one thing I miss about peak Marvel, and maybe we got a little bit of this in Deadpool and Wolverine, is just the bigness, the eventness of it, right? And like in all of Phase 4, nothing felt like an event as much as this.
Yeah.
Right?
There was a lot of
It's
hype,
also
and it really nailed it on the
This
hype.
gave me everything I wanted.
Yeah.
Even things I didn't know that I wanted. The moment when Andrew Garfield like saves.
Yeah.
Oh, and like what a great movie for Garfield and for Toby.
So good, and it felt like a redemption for the actors, not
everything.
just the
And
characters.
it's also a 3-hour movie that like I'm fine with it being 3 hours.
And
long.
at this point, we'd had, 5 others, Spider-Man movies from Tobey and Andrew.
Yeah.
This was the realization at the end of the movie that this trilogy was an origin story is like pretty incredible and like pretty masterfully done.
This made me cry.
Yeah, Antman dying is just absolutely tragic.
This is S.
Going back to all those other actors, yes,
Yeah,
S tier, S tier.
S.
Yeah.
Now, where S? I think you got to put it.
Evan looks shocked.
Evan.
I mean, I think this movie's overrated.
Whoa!
Evan hates
Well, and that's
feelings.
why I agree. I think it's
Young millennials
definitely
are killing Spider-Man?
it's behind Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And I'd probably also put it behind what's the third one on
That's
there?
Iron Man.
I put it
Oh,
behind
I would
Iron
not
Man.
put- okay.
Only because here's what I will say. Though I love the bigness of it, it is a little bloated as a movie. There's so much that they're
on,
trying
man.
to do in this.
Spider-Man helping other Spider-Man.
Spider Boys. I mean, seeing the 3 Spider-Man together works
Like,
really
seriously,
well.
Seeing them all together, even just that moment, even though you know it's coming,
Yeah.
that moment when they see a shadowy Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and he comes and he jumps through the portal, and it's Tobey Maguire. Everyone knew it was coming. Everyone still lost their goddamn mind.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see, but also, hey, there's a little movie called Into the Spider-Verse that maybe.
Well, okay,
We're not ranking that.
What do you
We're not
want,
ranking
dude?
that, Evan.
You
Evan,
can't.
clearly that's better.
Okay.
Come on.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, 2022's. Now this could also, I feel like there's a lot of variance here. Some people really like this movie. Some people really didn't like this movie.
I enjoy this movie. It's fun, but I think it's like a very B movie. I see it as a B. Gina has a mischievous
high highs, low
smile.
lows to me. Yeah.
I mean,
Zach, what's your score?
I love the Scarlet Witch in this. I love the Scarlet Witch being a little more evil. I like it when the Scarlet Witch is evil.
I love it when Sam Raimi cooks in this.
Yeah.
There's some fun set
I like the
pieces.
music fight sequence, which is some people see as very goofy, but that's like a
Loved
very
it.
Sam Raimi
I think,
thing.
I feel bad. I don't think the America Chavez character was handled well.
There's not enough multiverses in
Evan, what's our
the
chat-
Multiverse
what's our
of
chat
Madness.
I'm pulling them right now. One vote for S, which I feel great about.
Evan shitting on No Way Home and calling S for Doctor Strange.
I'm glad we didn't
I'm
give him a
saying they
golden
only
set.
have one vote, which is great. I don't want it to get
okay.
a
I thought you
he
felt
feels like
great
that's
about
out.
that
no.
one.
I
As
feel
opposed
great
to
about
10
it
or
not
20?
having it.
Yeah.
Gina, you're being so quiet on this, and I don't like
I'm
this.
waiting to see where the
Yeah,
final...
the chat is having a really interesting.
It's a
growth.
multiverse.
This has
of
nice.
scores.
This has high B written all over it for me.
I see it as like a B. Is it better than the first Doctor Strange? You like it better than the first Doctor Strange movie?
I mean, I don't know how much is just recency bias. There's more stuff I remember from it.
That's literally recency bias. That is
Well,
the
also,
definition.
I mean, there's a couple set pieces. Zombie Strange, the music
Sure.
fight.
Okay. Chat ended up at a B with 73
I think this is a
votes.
good B.
46%.
Pizza Papa always gets
and
paid?
then
Pizza Papa always
second
gets paid.
running up is a C with 43%.
Damn, this for me is absolutely an A.
Okay.
Wow.
I love the fact. Here's the thing.
I thought you
will-
were ready to tank this. by
No,
the way.
no.
I know.
I will couch this in the fact that I am a huge Sam Raimi movie nerd.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are two autobiographies that I have read because I don't need to know that much about
Wait,
any
he
person.
wrote 2 autobiographies?
No. I'm saying that
I
one
see.
is Tina Fey's and the other is Bruce Campbell. If Chins Could Kill.
Okay.
Because and he has a lot of like, here's what Sam Raimi does.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
why he abuses me. Every moment of this movie was satisfying. As both a Marvel fan
Yeah.
and a Sam Raimi fan, this was the first movie that I watched and looked for both Raimi Easter eggs and Marvel Easter eggs.
You're gonna have to use your golden snap on this. I'm not allowing an A tier.
Damn.
Wow.
Without
Yeah, what are you
using
gonna go
that
to bat
snap, you know?
for?
Pizza Pop always gets paid.
I'm
Here's the
thinking.
thing, here's the thing, it
This
feels-
is so funny.
it almost-
This is such a.
It's just a messy movie. Again, I think there's some
There's
nice
not
high
enough
highs.
multiverse.
That
in it.
whole sequence of him puppeting Strange,
Sure.
zombie Strange, the way it is shot, and again, every 5 minutes there is either a Marvel Easter egg or a Raimi Easter egg, which to me means double the fun. But the thing is, B
It's
is so
violent.
close to an A. So
It's
do I
dark.
use it on this, or do I save it till the end and go back?
The multiverse of it all, I think, has diminishing returns. The freaking seeing the Illuminati and then they all die.
Oh, the Illuminati! I mean,
It's fun the first time. I don't think it holds up on rewatch.
I mean-
again, I don't hate this movie. This feels like very solid B, but you better use that snap.
The
if you want this to be
Scarlet Witch tearing through Comertage is like a great sequence.
Also,
and I
as
really
the
like
only
it.
human alive that's rewatched all of the Eternal,
Supernatural?
no,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
but these also,
Gilligan's Island?
I really liked it
They're
when
on
the
the
professor
moon.
made the radio.
They're on the moon.
Oh, Inhumans. Inhumans.
Inhumans.
Thank you. I could not get Eternals out of my head. As the only person who's rewatched
Rewatched it. You're the only person who's watched it.
I watched it through twice. I watched
Speaking
it
of wigs.
I don't
Ooh.
like it. I'm not saying I like it. But there was something redemptive about
I can't
seeing
get a
Black
new
Bolt.
Blade movie, but Inhumans on the moon.
Who saw Inhumans in theaters? Let us know in the chat.
I'm gonna wait until
This is
oh,
B.
God.
This is
It's
B.
B.
It's B.
It's B. It's literally Sam Raimi's the king of the B movies, right? Like that's his
I mean,
whole
it's
thing.
better than
this is a-
this is. I think put this at the top of B.
This is a D. For
Better than
Doctor
Homecoming.
Strange.
D for you,
This is a D. I did
Wow.
not. Like
Wow. I might have to use
Mr.
my
Black
snap-
Widow in theaters.
I wouldn't put it ahead of Homecoming, but that's fine.
You wouldn't? Is
Okay,
it better? You wanna
but
put
fine.
it-
I'm fine. Let's move. Now, here's where I might use my golden snap.
Okay.
Okay.
Thor:
In
Love and
fact,
Thunder?
you know what? I don't even need to hear what it is.
Oh no, he's not even gonna give us a chance. He's not even gonna give us a chance.
Because Thor: Love and Thunder. F.
Oh no. Well,
I hate this movie.
The only
this
person to use a snap to make it go down.
That's
yeah,
right.
you can set it anywhere you
That's
want.
right. This is the only Marvel movie I've been mad at.
Wow.
Okay.
And as much as I think Ragnarok is S tier, that only makes my disappointment more poignant
so
for
angry.
Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
About how this
Wow.
fumbled absolutely everything I loved
Yeah.
about Ragnarok in a way that almost like it just like killed the character. I think like the comedy doesn't land at all, and there's so much of it.
Yeah.
It's so brutally unfunny and just like sloppy and patched together and just kind of like not coherent as a movie.
They cut out Lena Headey. I mean,
Just
come on.
absolutely wasting a Christian Bale gore
wasting
performance.
Russell Crowe. Maybe.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
There's a great deleted scene where Russell Crowe has like a sequence with Thor where instead of getting like killed by Thor and they take the lightning bolt, he's like talking with Thor and he's like, the lightning bolt's anything you make the lightning bolt, it's what's in your heart and blah blah blah. And it's like, that was a great little scene. And why did they change that?
The Jane Foster storyline should have hit so hard. And I thought just a little when they do the little montage
That's
of
a
how
great
their
montage,
relationship
yeah.
disintegrated, that's beautiful. That's the best part of the movie. And then the entire rest of the movie.
What about Axel's weird floating head? The son of Heimdall, named Axel. Just the weird floating head.
There are some strange
all the
things.
kids being kidnapped is garbage.
Yeah.
The weird ghost. I mean, it's just
Yeah, I admit I didn't
bad.
care about the kids. I didn't care about
Christian Bale, like just
care about Jane
underused.
Foster.
And he's in a different movie.
Yeah.
I remember that week Thor: Love and Thunder came out. I was sick as a dog, and I was like, I gotta get better to watch this movie. I gotta get better.
I gotta get
Then
better.
I went out to theaters and watched it. And I was like, what did I just watch?
I mean, the trailers were
What did I-
cool. It's just it let me down in every possible way. F.
Wow.
yeah,
Dang.
in case you
Wow.
don't forget Wasted Valkyrie. Yeah, Valkyrie.
Yes.
Wasted.
She's
yeah.
like, hey, I'm out. I'm
That's
stepping
true.
out.
That's true. What
Yeah,
do we
yeah.
got? What do we got? What's our D right now?
Thor: the Dark World, and then
Wow, a
F.
lot of Thor hate.
Love and
What's
Thunder.
in C?
C is Avengers: Age of Ultron, Antman and the Wasp, Thor the first one, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man Deuce, Eternals, and then Black Widow. Uh-oh. Oh, no. 2 in a row?
Here we go.
2 in a row?
I'm doing it.
Gina puts her whole body inside the glove? Gina, that goes up to your shoulders. Oh, my good God. Oh.
It's a head snap.
I'm moving Eternals to mid B.
Of all that power, she goes mid B.
She moves it up half a tier.
She's the most respectful Titan you ever
He
meet.
said it was in a C right now.
Yeah.
It's a low C.
Or it's in the it's in the low C. So you
Okay,
want Eternals?
wow.
Let's move
Mid-B
Eternals to
for
mid-B.
Eternals. What?
Put it in front of Far From Home. Yeah, there you
Ooh,
go.
the
Yeah,
disrespect.
take that, Spider-Man.
Okay.
Take that, Jake
All right.
Gyllenhaal.
No more. We've already given Thor: Love and Thunder too much airtime. Moving on to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
This is tough.
This is tough.
So I do really like this movie, but man,
really
it's
like
so
it.
sad.
It's
It's
so
also
long.
the degree
So
of
sad.
difficulty this movie has
Yeah.
to pull off.
It has to like have a funeral, not only for T'Challa, but for like
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman, and like let the audience grieve and let the actors
Dude.
grieve, but also have like a third act action sequence.
Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, I will say the Namor villain is great. The way that whole world was fully realized. Was
Angela
cool.
Bassett's incredible.
Angela Bassett
Yeah,
absolutely
best thing
cooks
about
in
this movie. Yes.
Yes, the Shuri of it all, it's kind of meh.
I had soured on her a little bit by this point.
Yes, yeah. I think there's some really nice parts of this, but also I think like I mean, this is a problem that Marvel's had frequently, especially lately. Like, it's kind of the final act is just kind of like,
I think this is still like an A movie. I don't think this is like S tier.
This
I still
feels,
think it's like an A.
this
I would
feels
give
top
this
of B
B.
for me. I will
Yeah.
say this is the number 17 ranked movie on Rotten Tomatoes. You
It-
better believe I
it
wrote
is-
down all the ratings.
Yeah, it's very hard to separate it from the.
It's tough.
from
Like the real
it's-
world of it
Chadwick
all.
It's
Boseman of
very,
it all.
it's good, not great. I feel like.
Yeah, I have to agree that I think the Chadwick Boseman of it all sort of colors our view of it. But like, let's say that the situation was different. This movie on its own, divorced from all that, is fine.
Yeah. You gonna do high B then?
It feels like a high B for
to
me.
Yeah, chat went 51% went A, 24% went S, 18% went with B.
Oh, so we're a little lower
Okay,
than
we are
Chad.
a little
Okay, we
low.
could
But I-
revisit.
no, but
Maybe
I
low A?
agree.
We can
Maybe low
revisit.
A?
I mean, A is a little thin. We could come back.
Put on the low
Let's
A?
get through the. We only have 4 left.
Okay.
Let's see where we
Okay.
end up. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
We're into
Now,
phase 5 now.
Phase
Phase
5.
2023's Quantumania. This was, some would argue, the beginning of the nadir of Marveldom.
Yeah, here's the thing.
You say that, but then looking at the 4 movies in here, at least 2 are bangers.
Right. Yeah. I have 2 S's in here for sure.
Yeah.
2 S's.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think people are crapping on this phase, but it's just because the lows are low.
I love the character of Ant-Man and like what they did in those movies. And I like Ant-Man and the Wasp a lot. Probably more than you guys do. But like, this to me was a D. Like, this was so not fun.
I kind of admit I like this a little bit better than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
The void just like, or the quantum realm.
It's so
looked
green
like
screeny.
the volume.
It's like the Bill Murray sequences just don't pay off.
The
or
waste,
they're not fun
so
or
many
funny.
actors are wasted in this
But
movie.
this is also
much.
like the first time we really got a terrifying Kang.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
First scene that he's introduced is scary.
Yeah.
Right.
When he is like, "Have I killed you?" Like all those trailers were so hype.
Yeah.
And then
And then they kill him pretty easily.
But do we think that? Because to me, this is like an okay movie that 1 or 2 things were bad enough to kind of ruin it. Like,
I think there's more than 1 or 2 things that ruin this movie.
okay.
yeah, it's,
Now
I
listen,
think
the
I'm
line
more- I'm
"I just
more
saved
forgiving.
$8" is great. S tier
wasn't
line.
even in the movie.
I just saved $8, not in the movie. Thank you, Evan.
Yeah, I think I'm more
S tier line that they
forgiving.
cut out of the movie, but yeah, like, and everyone, we all love our heroes, and we're happy at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that hey, everyone lived actually when we predicted all these deaths. When no one died in this movie, I was so angry. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
no one got stuck in
No
the quantum
Janet,
realm, and
no
no
Hank.
one died.
Well, I also admit that, like, I still, at the end of it, thought that end sequence was going to mean a lot more than it
When
did.
he's back on the San
When
Francisco
he's
City
back-
street.
and you're like, oh, clearly
And
he's
it's
not really
creepy.
back.
Yeah.
Because it's so surreal, and people are looking.
Even-
and Eric makes a great point in his breakdown of like, look at the colors they're wearing. Look
Yeah.
at how some of them
Also,
look directly at the camera.
Can I go out on a limb and say the Council of Kangs post-credit scene looks like garbage. Looks like
wow.
Party City Kangs, okay? It looks bad.
The metallic one does look a little.
And the lizard one, it's like, get out of here. Yeah.
Everyone in the chat split between C and F with 32%.
You know what? I was actually gonna say D.
I said D.
Yeah.
And Elijah Dante reminding me, it's F tier for me, was wasting William Jackson Harper on Quad.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Katie,
Yeah.
Katie O'Brien.
Katie O'Brien wasted
there were a
movie.
lot of side
Great
characters.
young actors that deserved so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All of the Quantum Realm stuff sucks.
Even new Cassie Lang is wasted. Our
Yes.
fourth Cassie Lang is wasted in this movie.
Yes, it's bad. Oh, the trailer. God, the trailer was so good.
Four.
Third.
Four.
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 One
the
girl
fourth
played
Cassie?
the same girl in first two. And then
The Russo
Emma
daughter?
Furman and Russo daughter. And then Cassie and then that's three. That's three.
I think there's only been 3.
I think there was another one.
Okay. One snuck in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
to me, this is D.
D? Okay.
Yeah, D.
I wouldn't be
Better
mad at
than
F,
Thor: The
but-
Dark World?
That's a.
I was gonna
put it in front of Thor the Dark
It's so hard because I remember way
Well,
more.
it's also expectations versus delivery. I think my expectations were higher for Quantumania.
Same.
This and Thor: Love and Thunder both really suffer for. I had very high expectations for both movies, and they really let me
And
down.
Quantumania was gonna be like, oh, this is the first real
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yes.
Now we're going.
They've already named the next Avengers movie after this villain, and it's like, oh,
And like
I don't.
even the Quantum Realm wasn't as much fun as it could be.
No.
I like when they make them
Bad.
drink the goo.
The goo, the ooze.
Talk about the holes.
The ooze was
Guardians
fun.
of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Now, I wrote an S for this one because, man, I love the High Evolutionary in this.
yeah.
After all these like villains with a purpose or whatever, like villains with justification, this was just a straight villain that I
Also-
really loved.
Also, just like Endgame to me, this is the perfect ending of a trilogy.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, I mean, truly, like, again, I cried a lot during this. Him like finally embracing that he's a raccoon, Drax being a dad and finally dancing. It successfully
Gamora
tied
walking
up,
away at the end.
Yeah. It's successfully tied up, and I think the easier choice would have been to have that Gamora stay, and he didn't. I think it tied up everything very well that came in the 2 movies before
Yeah.
it. So to me, this is S
Peter
tier.
goes back to Earth, which is like kind of fun.
Yeah,
And I can't wait
And
to
you
see
him
where
with
that
his
goes
grandfather,
in,
even
like-
that last scene with his grandfather, where
it's
they're just
weird.
like talking about regular grandfather
neighbors or
and
whatever.
grandson thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's like, "That guy needs to mow his lawn." I was like, "God, I love this. This is great."
They're enjoying some delicious magic spoon.
I'm not as high on this movie as you two are.
I have a very fun story because Zach and I saw this together, even if he didn't remember.
Zach forgot.
But
Is this the one that he's always-
very vivid memory for me where Zach and I are sitting at an early screening of this movie, and out comes somebody to introduce the film. They said, "Are you guys excited for Guardians 3?" And everyone's like, "Yeah." Like, okay. And here to introduce the film is a voice actor from the movie. Zach and I are looking at each other like, "Oh my God, who's it gonna be?"
Bradley
And
Cooper, Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. And then the person goes, "Marina Bakalova, the voice of Cosmo the dog." And Zach goes,
Oh.
"No!"
Dang,
And I
dude.
tell that story constantly.
Dang, dude.
Lovely woman. Bless her heart.
Dude.
She did a great job in the movie, but yeah, I mean, you know, you don't expect the 14th lead isn't really going to pop the crowd.
Dang,
You know what I mean?
Shots fired.
Yeah, I
It would
was
have been
not
more
as-
exciting if Cosmo the dog was there.
I actually, if it was even like Floor or any of those adorable
Yeah.
animals,
Yeah.
Teeth.
Human animal.
Steve?
Thieves. Chat one with S.
S. I
Yes.
can't. I don't think it doesn't feel like an S tier to me.
wow.
Well, that's too bad because there's 2 of us and 1 of you.
And the chat
you guys are both
is
saying
behind
S?
us.
I think it's like a
say
low
And the
S.
cats
I think it's a low S.
It's not the best Guardians movie.
I'm not saying it. I said put on the low S.
Yeah, low
You're gonna
S.
have 2 Guardians movies S tier.
Yes, I think
I
they
think
deserve.
This
I-
is the A tier is currently thin. I'd be okay the front of the A tier.
Evan,
Yes,
Evan's
Evan.
thinking about it. What's he gonna do? Oh, no.
It's not S tier,
he's not
Evan.
gonna
You're
do it.
right.
The
right.
chat
Gonna
agrees.
do it.
Give the people what they want.
He's not gonna do it. We can
Not S.
revisit it at
This
the end.
is recency bias right here because this was the last really good Marvel movie. I feel like, but it's not S tier.
Apologies to
Yo,
Deadpool
that whole
Wolverine.
dance scene at the end. If you don't tear up during that, you are dead.
I didn't tear up.
I'm dead inside. Yeah.
It's because
Also,
you two saw it together.
I don't think the needle drops. I don't think the needle drops were as good in this movie too. For a franchise
Yeah,
that's so built
and
on
no,
them.
no, it was overused, is what it was.
Yes.
It was like the transitions from scene to scene were so weird, and then they were using music to cover it, and it was like, we get the shtick, like, make a better movie. I don't know.
Yeah, Gamora saying, "I bet we were fun."
The Gamora didn't really hit for it in this to me. I thought like I didn't love the Drax stuff as much.
Dang, dude. Dang, dude.
I did like the Rocket, and I probably have more tolerance for all the weird little animals than lots of other people. But yeah, again, good movie. I don't think it's us though. Not
Wow.
Dang, dude.
Wow.
Dang, dude. Dang. Where were we gonna put it?
Shots fired.
A? There's not that many movies in the A tier. They need friends. A movie that's all about friendship.
Where would you put it in A? That's Civil War first,
Civil
and then
War.
the first Avengers.
It feels like right after First Avengers for me. I'd put it ahead of Shang-Chi.
In the chat says, y'all need to go to Disney World and ride Cosmic Rewind. Is it awesome? It is awesome.
Do you think Brandon Barrick hasn't ridden that thing 150 times?
Well, that said Disney World, so I have not read that.
Okay.
Yeah,
They don't have
I
one at
haven't
Disneyland
either.
yet?
I say bring back Horizons. How dare you take away my Horizons, folks?
The
is that
Guardians of
the-
the Galaxy ride at Disneyland.
Kevin
is
Costner
one
has a
of my
ride at
favorites.
Disney?
No. Actually, I think the Mission Earth ride took over Horizons. I think that one took over the Energy Pavilion. Cosmic Rewind.
That's an
Let us
upgrade.
know in the chat.
Energy Pavilion is always garbage.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
A?
Yeah,
Sure.
we'll put it in the A.
yeah.
That's
Fine.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
fine.
We're in the home stretch.
That's a bully.
We're in the end game now.
We're in the end game of this now. The Marvels.
Now, Zach, you always said you hated female-driven.
That's not true.
Yes.
Not true.
You hate women and you hate things that look like cats?
We'll make
Well,
Zach
that second thing might be true, but this is not a good movie.
No, it's not. There's fun moments in this movie, but overall, it's a
Yo,
mess.
the Flurkin sequence.
The Flurkin
set
sequence was
to
great, set to
There's
memories.
just also
memories. I was cackling.
Benny Buckley's memories. I mean, it's incredible.
yeah.
Incredible.
There's just zero chemistry between the three leads.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. It
Aman
is-
Vellani's
it is
doing great work in this movie.
Not every movie has to be the be all end all.
Yeah.
I was cackling during this movie more so than
Yeah.
any of the other movies.
I think what was frustrating with this movie too is it came out after Secret Invasion, and like everything was so weird with that. Where
Yeah.
this felt like this movie should have happened before Secret Invasion, which I think it was supposed to come out before it.
And this was
and
a-
then they
yes.
really stuck their
Yeah.
guns. They're like, no, it happened after Secret
but this
Invasion.
is
It doesn't
on
make
rewatch.
sense.
This is a fun one.
It is a fun. This is like an Ant-Man style movie where it's a smaller story
Yeah.
that like feels fun with the characters. But
I had no
think there's
fun.
a lot of mess in it.
I had no fun. I also think like too many Flurkins. Can I be honest? The whole Flurkin, everybody hide inside a Flurkin.
God.
Cheesy bit.
God.
I didn't like it.
Bit.
I also thought
Your
like
life is sad.
I know
Zach.
I'm
You
not
are a sad life, man.
Listen, also this is a very pandemic-y movie, okay?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this was the last of the big Marvel pandemic productions. I think that holds it back. Everything feels blue screeny. It feels copy pasted from reshoots and everything like that. Also, the villain is the most nothing burger villain we've had since Malekith, probably. Can anybody name the villain of the Marvels?
Yeah, Darben.
Okay, good job, Evan.
Oh, yeah.
The two defenders of the Marvels could not.
I was about to say it, and then Evan said it immediately.
It's just,
I should've shut
it's
up,
just nothing
sorry.
burger. And again, I no offense to anybody, all the creatives behind this movie, it just didn't work. Just didn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I had fun.
It doesn't feel finished.
I say, I mean, it sounds like what? A C?
Yeah.
To me, it's a C. I still had fun.
Low C? Low C, high D?
Low C.
Yeah.
Low C.
Yeah.
Low C.
Cat went B.
I enjoyed Black Widow more than the Marvels. See, I'm not
Florence
sexist.
Pugh's very good. Florence Pugh's very good.
I laughed more at the Marvels.
I think Florence Pugh and Black Widow, and even maybe David Harbour and Black Widow are better than anything in the Marvels.
Samuel Jackson's a lot of fun in the
Is he?
Marvels, but it does feel like incongruous with like Secret Invasion.
I know,
which again,
I know,
it's like,
but we can't.
who is this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, our most fresh in our memory, Deadpool.
Yeah, so
Deadpool and Wolverine.
we know because we hosted our break room breakdown of this, and I think Brandon and I were stoked on it, and you were less stoked on it. 'Cause
Yeah.
to me, this is S tier.
Yeah, this was
Deadpool
like,
and Wolverine S tier.
it's pretty good.
You're wearing the shirt right now, sir.
Well, hey, if Thor: Love and Thunder wants to send me a shirt, so I mean it's not an F tier movie. Okay? Actually, what am I saying? Nobody, Deadpool Wolverine didn't send me this.
We're all wearing Deadpool and Wolverine shirts.
Here's my only thing. Again, it's fresh in our brains. I think in 2 years, this movie will not hold up
Disagree.
as well as a lot of anything that we would put in the S tier. No, there was no moment in this movie that hit me like the best moments in Endgame or Infinity War or No Way Home.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, this movie's fight scenes are better than most of the fight scenes in the MCU.
Sure.
Maybe not Captain America Winter Soldier has better fight scenes.
Also,
but like the fight scenes in this are so good.
I realize we can't.
Really good cameos. And if you like what Spider-Man's doing, or Spider-Man No Way Home is doing. Like, this movie is like that, but for the Fox universe.
And again, I mean, we talked about it the other day, but I will reiterate, like, these cameos weren't just like, hey, recognize this person. They each got their I mean, they each get their redemption arc moment. They each get a different style of fighting. They each get a brilliant fight scene. The whole opening fight scene where he's using the bones. I love this. To me, this is hands down.
And I think the comedy will not hold up over time. None of the Deadpool movies, the comedy is always the first thing to like kind of fall apart. But I do think the action is so good, and there's like such good character moments in this movie. Hugh Jackman's so great in it.
Also, such a strange, unique villain.
Yeah, Cassandra Nova is really fun, and I wish we had more time with that villain. But there's a lot to do in this movie. I understand.
I think it's an S tier Wolverine movie. I think it's a B tier Deadpool movie.
Compared to the other two Deadpool movies?
No, just compared to movies.
We called it a B tier Deadpool movie.
Or the Deadpool of it all is B tier. The Wolverine of it all is S tier.
To me, this was a perfect Wolverine send-off. Again, I got a little choked up when he said, "I'll see you around," and he said, "Probably not."
Yeah.
And then he stuck around.
Probably not.
Yeah, but he was telling us, "Probably not. I can't do this to my body anymore."
Okay. Well, till you're 90, right?
I'll meet you halfway and say this is A.
That's halfway? You're meeting us halfway with an A?
Yeah, because I want to go B.
I mean, I'm with Zach here. I'll run a poll really quick.
You're out of your mind.
And
out of your mind.
I can't work under these conditions.
It's the 20th rated Marvel movie according to Rotten Tomatoes, 79% fresh.
All right, chat. Get your Deadpool
Beneath
Wolverine
Wakanda Forever, beneath Shang-Chi.
Well, let's see the
beneath.
tiers.
The same rating as Black Widow.
This is better than Black Widow.
Not according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes can rotten my tomato.
This is a good question. I'm Iron Man 10 asking, do you think Joker 2 will make more than Deadpool and Wolverine?
No.
Sorry.
No.
I hope it's successful, but I don't think it will.
Yeah. I think it'll be good for them, though. Good for DC.
Yeah.
Good for one
Yeah.
another.
Absolutely.
That's the most like patting a child on the head for finishing a race thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I think you did good.
You did good. I mean, I really liked this movie a lot. Yeah.
I mean, to me it's S tier, but if both Zach and Evan think it's B tier, then I do think A is the best
consolidate with some
compromise.
A.
Chat's leading S right now. I think someone's juicing the polls.
Yeah, that's right. Are there Snyder bots in there?
Yeah, chat went with S hardcore, 147 to 64A.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, let's look at what's an A though, right? What's an A?
You have Civil War, First Avengers, Third
me,
Guardian,
this is better than Civil War.
Shang-Chi. Yeah. Can we put it at the top of A? We feel good doing that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, again, I think Civil War and Avengers are better than it, but whatever, compromise.
Wow, look at this list.
What a tier list.
Anyone got any
bloodshed.
strong feelings they want to argue for?
I just feel bad for Thor. He's really he has a tough go at it.
All right, we got him in the S tier.
I know he got
Yeah.
one S, but that's really stretching that S. Really stretching that S.
Does anyone in the chat hate us a lot
You
for
know,
particularly one thing?
I think so.
It is the irony, and maybe this is just like my POV. There's a lot in the B tier, and honestly, it feels like half of the A tier could also move to B.
Whoa!
I don't
For
know.
me?
No.
It just feels like,
Whoa.
and hey, there's nothing wrong with a B. A solid B movie, like that's good, you know?
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go. Evan uses his golden
Evan!
tap.
What is it?
What are you doing?
Oh, what's he gonna do?
Move the marbles to B.
Oh!
He's boosting the marbles.
That was the chat. The chat really wanted.
Wow.
Good for you, Evan.
All right, I love that both Eternals and Marvels got bumped up to B.
Evan, good for you.
Yeah, I did
Good
it.
for you.
Giving
It's
the
like I was
people
built for
what
this
they
or something.
want. Giving the people what
I need
they
to rewatch
want.
the Marvels.
It's fun.
I've only
It's
seen it
fun.
once. It might grow on me. I could see it growing.
Okay, yeah, put it at the bottom of
Yeah,
it.
that's
fine.
Put it at the bottom of it. There you
Okay.
go.
You know, honestly,
That feels pretty good. That's almost a bell curve.
We were probably too generous. We probably needed some more D's
No.
and F's.
No.
No.
I think this is a good thing. And I think if you look at all the Marvel movies, you compare them to each other, I think most of them are better than they are worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
like to see them.
To me, an F F means you did not have any fun at all,
Yeah.
and you regretted spending those 2 hours and 8 minutes there.
Yeah.
I mean, there are very few movies that I feel like I've wasted my time watching in theaters, and Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, it did
was-
feel
Wow. All right.
I left that theater angry.
That was a rough one.
I left angry. That and
Wow.
Zack Snyder's not the Snyder cut of the Justice League, the Whedon cut. Of
Yeah,
it.
okay,
Wow,
okay.
yeah.
I watched both cuts back to back in my own home.
Ooh.
I'm a completist. I'm a weird completist. I've seen Inhumans
Oh,
twice.
Good for you for
And very
finishing.
unfortunately, Black Adam, because I love Dr. Fate. That movie was a rough watch.
Ass tier. Okay. Be sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave comments about what we got
Nice
wrong,
comments.
how you disagree.
Yeah,
or
don't come for us.
Or echo the wonderful, opinions that we shared.
Be an
feel free
echo
to do
chamber.
that. Be an echo chamber, that's right. Let us know other tier lists that we should be doing in the near future. We've done a
Ooh,
couple
yeah.
of these.
Yeah,
Both
people are saying maybe we do a TV, Marvel's TV.
Yeah, we
Hell yeah.
purposely separated
Hell
out all the
yeah.
TV
I'm the
stuff.
only one. I'm the only one that will have seen all of
Maybe-
them.
I
Maybe-
cannot wait to set Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No!
baby.
No.
on the
Oh
eve of Agatha, the timing might be good there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
True.
we could also do a non-MCU Marvel films, the Sonys, the Foxes,
yeah,
the whatevers,
yeah,
right?
Fantastic Four.
Yeah. But be sure to let us know. Subscribe to the Break Room. Follow us on Twitch, social platforms, all of those places. Keep an eye out for some fun content we've got coming up. We'll have our House of the Dragon finale reaction next Monday.
I am so
And then
sad.
we'll probably be covering the Penguin, Agatha for sure. Maybe a little Rings of Power in our near future. We'll see. We'll
Let
see
us
how
know
it,
what you want us to
yes.
cover.
We'll see how that goes.
Severance season 2.
Ooh.
Supernatural seasons 1 through 15.
Ugh.
Is Severance a binge drop or is it?
No, it's Apple. They
It's
do
weekly?
They do weekly.
Okay, let's hope.
You never know with them, right? It's the
never
wild
know.
Yeah,
We never
they're
know.
a
We don't even know.
wild
We don't even know
card.
when the show's coming out, do
They're
we?
a wild
Severance
card.
too?
Yeah, they
Is
gave us
it
a release
September?
date. They gave us a
November?
release date.
Anyways, okay.
Yeah.
Palm Royale season 2.
These.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Remember, Thor: Love and Thunder is an F tier movie, and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.